I just want to welcome everyone to the Inland Wetlands Watercourses and Conservation Commission meeting for the City of Norwich. It's Thursday, April 7th, 2022 at 7 p.m. The meeting is virtual. Everyone is being audio and video recorded. I just ask that you would state your name when speaking or voting. With that, I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I've taken a roll call. Present is Michael Lahan, Pete from the board, Michael Lahan, Pete Shalecki, Doug Lee, Brandon Hyde, and Richard Morrell. Everyone will be seated and everyone will have a vote. Is there a move to approve the minutes of February 3rd?
This is Doug, so moved.
Second.
All in favor, please state your name.
Doug, aye.
Pete, aye.
Brandon, aye.
Any opposed?
How about Michael? Aye.
All right, I don't know if he has responded or able to respond. Michael?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so I vote yes too.
All right. All in favor, yes. Any opposed? Hearing none, so moved. Communications?
Just two quick ones from way back in February. I have a notice from First Light Hydro, the Tafel Generating Station in Norwich, notifying they were submitting an NPDES permit application for incidental discharges associated with running the plant. And then from March 17th, I have one from DACO regarding a deep permit for, it is 190 South Thames, giving notice that they submitted a deep application to conduct work waterward of the high tide line in tidal, coastal, or navigable waters of the state. That's some work down on South Thames Street. That's it.
Okay. Any questions about that? Hearing none. Any public hearings? None.
Not tonight.
Old business, IWWCC number 22-02, 722 Boswell Avenue.
We have Dave McKay on the call for the applicant. If you'd like him to present.
Good evening. This is David McKay with Boundaries LLC, here on behalf of the applicant and property owner, M&T Land LLC. Dan, can I share my screen?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, I think I now will be able to do it. Yep, there we go. Okay. So this application is for improvements to the existing fueling station and convenience store located at 722 Boswell Avenue, right here under my cursor. This is Boswell Avenue, Route 12, and this is Berkeley Street. And we're here today because there is a wetland area located on 682 Boswell Avenue. You can see right here that is separated from our property by the driveway to 690 Boswell Avenue, the Norwich Auto Car Wash. And the upland review area from this wetland system runs right about halfway down through the middle of our property. And our proposal includes reconstructing the convenience store, increasing that size from about 590 square feet to 2,100 square feet, adding a canopy over these fueling islands, and reconfiguring the parking to reduce some of this pavement around the site and also add some landscaped islands. I'll bring up the site plan now, and we can just flip through that. Okay, so should be the cover of our site plan. Now you'll notice this is revision A, received some comments from Dan and from Brian Long, the city engineer, and we prepared this set of plans to address those comments. This is the existing conditions survey. You can see this gray dashed line here is the limits of the upland review area from the wetland that's located off of our property on 682 Boswell Avenue. And Boswell Avenue is right here at the bottom of the page, so different orientation from the aerial photo I showed you. This is our site demolition plan, which basically shows all the areas the pavement's going to be removed. So these large parking spots here within the upland review area, that pavement's going to be eliminated. The existing convenience store will be demolished. Some pavement around the front of the convenience store will be removed for the new convenience store, and then some additional pavement on the south side of the property will be removed for new landscaped islands. Here we have the site layout plan. You can see that dashed line again is the upland review area. So work that we have within the upland review area is constructing these new parking spaces, constructing the new building footprint, and the restriped parking over here, along with landscaped islands and a rain garden that's going to be installed in the northwest corner of the property. And that's sized to take 1 inch of runoff from the new roof surface and also from the new canopy over the fueling islands.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. Now here is our site grading plan, and this is most of the activity we have in the upland review area. The grading for removing that parking area and putting the new rain garden in right here, and then grading to provide compensatory storage, because this property also is located within the FEMA floodway, which is this gray solid line here through the property. So providing compensatory storage for the new dry floodproofing of the building footprint, since the existing building doesn't have any floodproofing, and then the construction of the rain garden back here. This is the stormwater management plan and grading plan. Again, you can see this line here is the drainage header coming from the canopy roof drainage, and then continuing around the back of the building and draining into the rain garden. So that'll take runoff from the roof drainage, from the roof canopy, fill up in the rain garden, which is sized to hold the 1 inch water quality volume, run through a riprap spillway into the existing catch basin that's located on the property. And this drainage system flows away from the wetlands and ends up crossing Boswell Avenue off-site. And then drainage from the parking lot, that's going to stay the same as it is now, although there is less impervious area going to this catch basin in the corner of the property, which also connects to this drainage system and runs off the property. So that's no proposed change from existing conditions. And then this is just the lighting plan with additional details of the landscaping. And I'm going to scroll back up to the demolition plan because I did not mention the silt fence. There's a proposed row of silt fence at the limits of grading that's going to extend along the edge of that driveway and along the limits of grading. So any runoff from our grading areas will be stopped by the silt fence before it gets to the driveway, which then would prevent it from getting to the wetlands. And then we also have an intermediate barrier of silt fence along the top of the slope, just to control any of these work areas from getting down into the more steeply sloped area. So stop that sediment in the flatter areas. And now we just have our standard notes and details with the erosion and sedimentation control notes, demonstrating that the fuel delivery trucks are able to access the site, and then details for our sediment fence and for the inlet protection that will be installed in the 3 catch basins on the property. And also, in response to one of Brian Long's comments, we've added this detail here for repairing the existing catch basin to the rear of the property. The top couple courses of concrete block are loose at this time, so we're incorporating into this project to remove the catch basin frame and grate and reset that top couple courses of concrete block with new mortar, and then set the frame. And then additional details for our site improvements, the new sidewalks, line striping, signage, curbing, and the existing gas station sign and logo. And then utilities details and landscaping details. So I'll scroll back up here to our grading plan, and that will end my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Doug, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions of the applicant.
This is Brandon.
Brandon?
Yep, this is Brandon. I do have a couple quick ones. It was really hard for me to read the topography because I'm on a smaller screen here tonight. I guess my biggest question is there an increase in impervious surface overall on the site?
No, there's a decrease of about 3,000 square feet overall on the property, and about 2,500 square feet of that impervious that's being removed is located in the upland review area. So we have a 2,500 square foot reduction within the upland review area itself.
That's very good then. And also the topography, how much of the parking lot goes towards the back of the property versus towards Boswell Ave?
The parking lot, pretty much all of it drains from the north to the south, and then it's collected in this concrete gutter that runs to the catch basin. So that is going to stay the same as it is now, except for the reduction in impervious area for the landscaped islands, and then also the new canopy over the pumps will prevent the runoff from getting onto the concrete fueling pad, and that runoff will then go out to our rain garden.
That's my only questions. Overall, looks like a great improvement to the site, and thank you for your work on this, David.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Dave, are you aware just how much flooding occurs in this area?
Anecdotally, we've been told that basically flooding gets up to about this portion of the property, and then based on the topography would wrap around the rear of the property.
Yeah, that rear road will be underwater.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that's my
about a foot
understanding.
of water will be running through that car wash on a spring event
Okay.
and wash through Boswell Avenue. So I'm not so sure how that catch basin at the rear of your property, which drains into that culvert underneath, I don't know how effective that's going to be when that backs up.
Yes, I mean, I guess it's a existing condition, and the work that we're doing is to reduce impervious area, and then the building is going to be dry flood proofed to protect the protect the building itself. But yeah, we do understand that this area behind the building does flood, and it would be a period of time that this catch basin is not going to be effective.
It's a challenging proposition here, this piece of property. Any other comments or questions, Michael? I guess not. Peter, I guess not. In your notes, Dan, you mentioned comments from the city engineer. Should we listen to what those comments were? Should we hear what those comments were, or?
Sure. Dave, I don't know if you want to go through how you
Sure.
addressed all of them in the updated plan. That might be easier.
No problem. So Brian had 4 comments for us. Comment number 1 was regarding an anti-tracking pad that we had included in the bond estimate for the property, but it was not included on the site plans themselves. So he either wanted it shown on the site plans or removed from the bond estimate if it wasn't going to be utilized. And I'm just scrolling up to the demolition sheet here. So basically, our existing curb cuts are going to stay the same, and the pavement in these areas is not going to be disturbed at this time. So any road vehicles that enter and exit the site during construction aren't going to be leaving a paved area. So in accordance with Brian's comment, we removed the anti-tracking pad from the bond estimate and provided him an updated bond estimate to review. Comment number 2 was regarding our drainage into the rain garden, our roof drainage. And originally I had 6-inch diameter pipes laid at 1% slope coming out at the bottom of the rain garden. And Brian brought up a concern with the potential for that pipe to plug up since it was located below the spillway that would fill up during large storm events and then drain to the catch basin. So our revised plan, I increased the pipe diameter from 6 inches to 8 inches. So we were able to run this pipe at 0.5% slope. And now the outlet is set above the elevation of the spillway. So there's no potential for clogging anymore. So that's comment number 2. Comment number 3 is the method of floodproofing for the proposed building should be indicated. And the way this building can be floodproofed, it's a 2-part. One, the foundation wall is going to be poured 1 foot above the base flood elevation, which is 91 in this area. So the top of the foundation wall is going to be 92. I added that note to the building call out, and then also on our flood damage prevention table, I added a description of the dry floodproofing regarding the foundation, and then regarding the removable plates that are going to be placed in channel sections that are cast into the door frames. And those form a barrier to prevent floodwaters from entering into the door, into the building. So they actually have channel sections that are cast into the frame along the door, and these steel plates are dropped into those sections. So if floodwaters were to get up in this area, they wouldn't be able to enter the building. So between those 2 parts, the building is dry flood-proofed. And then Brian's final comment is regarding the catch basin I mentioned, which we added that repair detail to. So one part of that is to repair the catch basin where the concrete blocks are loose and starting to fall in. And then the other part of that is removing an existing tree that is immediately next to the catch basin. On the slope here, you can see the trees right under my cursor. The catch basin's here. So Brian recommended that we remove that tree to protect that catch basin from any further damage or root intrusion. So we added that to the plan as well. And that addresses Brian's comments on the plan.
Thank you very much, David.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments?
I'd just add that my only other comment was adding the soil scientist's signature to the plan, which they also have on the cover sheet now. So
Yes.
all my comments and the engineer's comments have been addressed.
Very good. First, we have to review and see if this is necessary to have a public hearing. Do I hear anyone make a motion?
This is Brandon. I move the IWWCC number 22-02 is not a significant activity, therefore does not require public.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Good.
Okay, all in favor?
Doug, aye.
Pete, aye.
Brandon, aye.
Michael, aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, so moved. Would anyone care to move IWWCC number 22-02?
This is Brandon. I move to approve IWWCC number 22-02.
With all the bullet points brought up by Dan to be included.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, as corrected and addressed by David. Yes, thank you.
This is Doug, second.
All in favor?
Doug, aye.
Aye.
Pete, aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you, David, very much.
Thank you for your time this evening. Take care.
IWWCC number 22-03, 210 Salem Turnpike. Dan.
Sure, this is proposed activity in the upland review area related to the construction of a new 3-level self-storage building with associated parking. Work in the upland review area will include excavation, grading, new drainage, and pavement. It's approximately 0.42 acres of disturbance anticipated. And Darren Hayward from CLA is on the meeting tonight. Darren, do you want me to let you share your screen?
Yeah, sure, if you would, please.
Sure.
Can everybody see the screen okay?
Yes.
Good, okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. As Dan mentioned, my name is Darren Hayward from CLA Engineers. Representing the applicant tonight, Watercourses Inc. for a project that proposes a new 3-level self-storage building at 210 Norwich Turnpike in Norwich, Connecticut. So here is the existing conditions plan. We have Norwich Turnpike to the north of the site. It's bordered to the site is bordered to the east by Core Plus Credit Union, and to the south and the west by the Walmart Shopping Plaza. The parcel itself is approximately 1.8 acres of undeveloped vegetated land. Site currently drains south, at moderate slopes of about 6%. The existing runoff flows south through an intermittent watercourse. Enters the wetlands and then is conveyed via a culvert underneath Montville Road and eventually flows into Trading Cove Brook, approximately 700 to 800 feet to the south. There's a closed drainage system on the Walmart site that releases stormwater into the wetlands on the western side of the intermittent watercourse via a pipe There's approximately 0.1 acres of regulated wetlands at the southern end of the site. So the project proposes a new 3-level self-storage building with associated parking. Access to the development will be from Salem Turnpike, and vehicles can enter and exit from this point of entrance here. And they can also exit the site via the south portion of the parcel on Montville Road. The approximate area of disturbance on the site is about 1.7 acres. This is the erosion and sediment control plan. You'll see that the site during construction would incorporate a temporary sediment trap, which will be used during construction to intercept the runoff from the site. There'll be a storm swale running down the westerly length of the parcel to capture the runoff and then discharge it into the sediment trap. Upland, the upland area of the wetlands will be protected by a silt fence and hay bale backed silt fence. So no construction work will occur within the wetlands or the watercourses. And as Dan mentioned, about 0.42 acres of the upland review area will be disturbed. Construction is expected to take about a year, I would imagine, and is planned to commence this year, subject to planning, zoning, and an archaeological review. Stormwater management design has been prepared to ensure there is no increase in runoff rates or volume. And our certified soil scientist has concluded that there will be no temporary or post-construction impacts to the wetlands. This is the grading and utility, grading and utility plan. In the stormwater basin. Drainage on the site is going to consist of traditional pipework and catch basins. The roof runoff from the roof will be directly piped into that subsurface drainage system and then discharged into a permanent water quality basin. It's been designed to take the water quality volume. And we have a landscaping plan associated with the parcel and our detail sheets. And because we're connecting utilities to the state roadway, Route 82, we have some Connecticut standard details for pavement reinstatement. That ends my presentation. Does the commission have any questions?
Any comments, Dan?
This is Brandon. I did have a couple questions.
Okay.
The southern end of the parking lot, is that a curb delineating the grass area? Yes. Yes, that area there, is that curbed?
No, what is going to happen is this is going to sheet flow off, and we have a note here saying no curbing. And actually, this is going to be a trench. Let me just scroll quickly to the. It's a stone leveling spreader, and the detail for that is here. So pavement runoff will come into a 3-foot stone level spreader just to protect the grassed area from collecting sediment at the edge, and then it'll overflow and then downstream into the basin. So no curb, to answer your question.
Okay, thank you. And then is the predominant grade still going out to Montville Road? Therefore, how much of the water do you think would actually make it out to Montville Road versus across that spreader from that parking lot?
I would imagine most of the way the site is graded is that all of the water north of where my cursor is going to enter the pond. It's going to get collected on the roadway through the drainage system running down the road, and all the runoff from the roof is being collected and piped into that structure there. So everything's being channeled into the basin. All this is sheet flowing off here, so only a very small amount here, just to the east of the basin, is going to be actually discharging to Montville Road.
Okay, thank you. And that's a retention or detention basin?
It has to be detention because we're so close to the water level. There's just no separation between the existing ground level there and the basin bottom. It will infiltrate over time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any further questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can you show me in more detail the entrance to this place off of the Salem Turnpike? I mean, the maps, is there any way you can enlarge that to this? Okay. So I thought that the presentation said that it was a cutoff off of the Walmart parking lot.
No, there's no access through the Walmart parking lot.
No, Mike, what's happening now is when we went out for our field visit, people are hopping the curb from the Walmart parking lot and driving through the bottom portion of this parcel to get to Montville Road. So my suggestion was to put a barrier up in the meantime to prevent that from keep happening, because where the ruts are happening is relatively close to the wetlands.
Okay. So it has its own separate entrance. It's not coming off of the Walmart parking lot.
It's not. People are just using it for some reason now.
Okay.
As a cut through. I'm assuming to avoid the traffic light.
Okay.
Anyone else? We must determine whether or not this is something that needs to go before a public hearing.
Dan, I just have a quick question. I'm sorry. The size of that detention basin for the amount of impervious surface, obviously your department looked at that and it's adequate.
We looked at it and Brian had a number of comments, and I believe, Darren, the set you're showing now addresses all of his comments as well.
Yeah,
Some of which are related to the.
Yes,
I'm
we have
sorry, go ahead.
those comments, yes.
So to answer you, Brandon, I think everything we had concerns with from a wetlands perspective has been addressed.
Thank you. I apologize. I didn't have time. All the comments. Appreciate it. Thank you.
If no further questions or comments, is there a motion on the table?
I would make a motion that I don't believe that there's a significant impact here that would require a public hearing.
This is Doug, second.
All in favor?
Doug, aye.
Pete, aye.
Brandon, aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you very much, Darren. Oh,
Thank you,
actually,
gentlemen.
now we have
Good
to have
evening.
a motion to whether we want to approve or not IWWCC number 22-03.
I would move approval with the conditions that are set out in the recommendations by the planning commission.
This is Doug, second.
All in favor?
Doug, aye.
Pete, aye.
Michael, aye.
Brandon, aye.
That's unanimous. So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dan, you have some new business for us?
Yes, we have some new applications, 22-04, which is a public utilities project in the vicinity of Waweeka Street, water main work. So if you want to act on them separately to receive them and table them, the second one is a little more discussion.
Someone would like to introduce a motion to table IWWCC 22-04.
Brandon, I move to table IWWCC number 22-04 the next meeting.
Second, this is Michael, I second.
All in favor?
Doug, aye.
Pete, aye.
Brandon, aye.
Unanimous.
So
So moved.
The second application is 22-05, which is the Business Park North application coming back. In speaking with Rich before the meeting, we'd like to open the public hearing at the May Wetlands Meeting and then schedule a number of site walks. We're anticipating it's going to be 4 hours, so we'll probably do two-hour site walks. Maybe one during a weekday evening and one earlier on a Saturday morning. And then I'd ask that we cancel the June regular wetlands meeting and schedule a special meeting a few weeks later on June 16th to allow for more time for comment and review. And the public hearing would theoretically be wrapped up at the June meeting.
So what we need is a motion to table this 2205 until the May meeting first.
Dan, let me just ask this quick question first. Are you really committed to breaking up the site walk into two separate chunks or just scheduling one, which would actually be my preference?
Well, I would leave that up to the commission to discuss, and I would follow your instructions.
All right, so I move that IWWCC 22-05 be tabled until a public hearing on the May meeting.
Well, it won't be a public hearing on the May meeting.
Well, you would open the hearing that night.
Yes.
Right, that's what I meant to say.
Okay, do I hear a
That would be
second?
May 5th.
Yes. Is there a
Pete,
second?
Pete,
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Call for discussion, please.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Is there something I'm missing here? We're going right to a public hearing on an application. Is there a reason?
No, I misspoke.
Oh, okay.
We open the application for the public hearing. That doesn't mean that there's a public hearing that night.
Correct.
Okay, so we're assuming this is a significant activity right off the bat. Is that my understanding?
Pretty much.
For all intents and purposes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Was there a second?
Pete, I seconded it.
All in favor?
Doug, aye.
Pete,
Michael,
aye.
aye.
Brandon, abstention.
I vote aye. Any voting nay? Hearing none, so moved. Now we have to make a motion to reschedule the meeting to June 16th. Reschedule the June meeting to June 16th.
This is Michael. I move that the meeting vote be postponed until June 16th.
Doug, second.
It's a motion on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Doug, aye.
Michael,
Pete,
aye.
Brandon, aye.
Unanimous, so moved. Dan, you want to get back to us later in the week with potential dates for us to do a site walk?
Sure, I can do that. In general, is everyone agreeable to a Saturday morning? I don't know if we have, if you're available during the day, during the week for a 4-hour site walk, that's fine. We could go either way.
I can start a site walk at 4 o'clock. I don't know if that gives us enough time to finish it. Maybe even 3:30, I can meet people there. Any night of the week, 3:30.
This is Brandon. I'm open to either a 3:34 in the afternoon or a Saturday morning, whatever the board commission chooses.
This is Michael. I can be available depending on the day.
Yeah, in the case of the month of May, my preference is sometime during the weekday rather than the weekend, because my weekends are completely plugged up with other obligations.
Yeah, like I
Okay.
said, Monday through Thursday, 3:30 to 4 o'clock, I can meet you.
Okay, so I'll come up with a few days and send them to all of you, preferably on a
And-
weekday.
The only weekdays I think I can't do it are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I can
Okay,
do it
so
Monday, Thursday. or
Monday,
Thursday.
Thursday.
okay. All right. And I was thinking probably mid-May.
Yes,
Okay, so a couple weeks after the meeting, maybe Thursday, the 19th, might be something that works out,
That works well for me.
or the 26th, one of those.
Both of those work for me.
okay.
This worked for me as well. This is Brandon.
I'm going to aim for the 26th then.
Actually, why don't we aim for the 19th, and that way if we get a rain out, we can go on the 26th.
Okay. I don't know if I'm available the 19th, but we can.
Okay, if we can't, we
How
do
about-
it on the 26th. I just wanted to have a backup.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll figure
Dan,
it out.
any other business?
No, nothing tonight.
No violations? Do I hear a
Not at
motion?
this.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Doug, so moved.
Michael, second.
All in favor?
Doug, aye.
Pete,
Brandon, aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you very much, Catherine and gentlemen. Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.